Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Wakimale in Abuja. Tonight we'll be bringing you some updates and perhaps another perspective on what the Bola Tinubu administration needs to do. Coming from a senator is asking that the federal government should look in the way of food stamps. What does that mean? Where did he find that kind of template, and how does he think that will work in Nigeria? Yes, people are saying food prices have gone up, things are expensive, but there are some dynamics that the senator is saying that the president should look at, and we'll be looking at all of that. And crisis also brewing in Edo State, in the APC, in the PDP. There are those who are talking tough. The president has prevailed in the matter concerning the APC. Let's bring you out updates right now. The ruling of Progressive Congress has reconstituted the primary election committee in Edo State. The party replaced Senator Hope Uzodinma, governor of Imo State, as the chairman of the committee, with his Cross River State counterpart, Governor Basiotu, who was formerly the deputy chairman of the 7-member committee. This was disclosed in a statement issued on earlier today by the APC National Organizing Secretary Suleiman Aogungo, saying the Cross River governor has now been saddled the responsibility of conducting the rerun election stated for tomorrow, Thursday, the 22nd February 2024. The party had earlier released a statement stating that the primary election was inconclusive and thereby will be concluded tomorrow. The former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole, has met with President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa today. And after his meeting with the president, he came out and gave a clue to some of what he discussed with the president and what the president also said. The president seems to have prevailed and against the conceptions that there will be zoning. The president has said there would not be any zoning. Take a listen to Senator Oshiomhole.
National Secretariat of the party is on record as having issued a statement which was widely used to the effect that the APC governorship ticket was open to anyone who is eligible to procure the nomination form, which was why at the end of the day, we had 12 candidates that procured the form. So the key issue in my conversation with Mr. President is that the primaries that had been rescheduled for tomorrow to continue is not based on and will not be based on zoning. It will be based on free and fair primaries. I am not a product of zoning. I am not a believer in turn-by-turn democracy. I believe Nigeria will do better when he puts his best foot forward. But the important thing is that I have the authority of the president, and you can cross-check. I told him, can I announce what I discussed, namely whether or not tomorrow's run-up election is based on zoning? And he said, no zoning.
That's Senator Adams Oshiomhole on some of the issues he raised with the president and the president's view on tomorrow's exercise. We'll be monitoring that for you. We'll be getting a lot of reaction, some of which include also the arrest of the party national chairman of the Labour Party, Comrade Julius Abure, who the police have now said that he's been arrested in Benin City. The party is supposed to conduct its primary, but one of the aspirants, Olumide Akpata, the former NBA president, had raised a doubt as to the preparations of the party, and it said that there is no preparation and things have been skewed ahead of the primary. But we're bringing you up to speed. Tonight, we also will tell you what is happening in the PDP, what is happening. There are those who are not certain about the conduct of that exercise. Is the PDP really ready for this exercise? We'll be getting some updates tonight. But first and foremost, before I take you to Edo State and also take you to the solution being profiled by some senators on getting food stamp, let's check out some of the political roundup stories.
The Senate has resolved to begin investigation into the 2 trillion naira subsidy requirements as stated by the Minister of Power to avoid the repeat of the fuel subsidy scenario. This is part of resolutions taken today in a motion of public importance raised by Senator Aminulia Abbas on the electricity situation in the country. The Committee on Power is mandated to equally investigate the 1.3 trillion naira owned by the ministry to generating companies and $1.3 billion owed to gas companies. The Senate also confirmed the nomination of 19 persons for appointment as commissioners for the National Population Commission, NPC. The immediate past governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, is demanding the sum of 1 billion naira as damages from the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, over an alleged defamatory remark. The Senate President was said to have stated that the allegations against Emefiele are so numerous that the federal government does not know which charges to pin on him. The Senate President also blamed the economic hardship in the country on the policies of the former CBN governor. In a letter dated February 19th, counsel to Mr. Emefiele, Matthew Bukar, said if Akpabio fails to pay the aforementioned sum and tender an apology, the ex-CBN governor will seek appropriate redress. The national chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, has been arrested by policemen in Benin City, the Edo State capital. According to a statement by the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Mr. Obiorifo, says Mr. Abure was arrested alongside the Edo State chairman of the party, Mr. Kelly Ogbaloi. The statement states that Mr. Zaburi and Ogbaloi were allegedly arrested over a protest letter by an expelled member of the party, loyal to the Lamidi Apapa-led faction of the party. The labor unions in Niger State have shut down government offices and hospitals to protest what they describe as a violation of civil service laws following the appointment of politicians as executive directors in government parastatal in the state. Some of the government offices are under lock and key, including healthcare facilities across the state. Ahead of the rescheduled primaries by the All Progressives Congress in Edo State, a coalition of APC supporters in Abuja is calling on the chairman of the Edo APC governorship primaries, Governor Hope Uzodinma, to step aside. The group, which spoke under the aegis of African Civil Society Forum, also thanked President Bola Tinubu and the APC leadership for a prompt intervention in what they say could have caused serious crisis for the party in Edo State. Some members of the People's Democratic Party in Kwara State are protesting the continued detention of the former governor of the state, Abdul Fattah Ahmed, by the Lawrence Zone of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The protesters were seen carrying placards with different descriptions, calling on the agency to release the former governor or charge him to court if found guilty, instead of denying him of his rights.
And there you have it. Those are your political roundup stories. Now, tomorrow, the APC will go back and reconduct or conclude its governorship primary. The PDP will also stage its own conduct tomorrow to elect the governorship candidate, the flag bearer of the People's Democratic Party. In the midst of all of this, there are those who are aggrieved, the aspirants who are not happy. There are those who say that everything has been skilled. It's a situation of answer to question and being walked back. And look, there are a lot of issues. And let's get to know what is happening in the PDP. I'm being joined tonight by Anthony Azegbemi, who is the PDP chairman in Edo State. He joins us virtually from Benin City. Thank you so much, Chairman Azegbemi, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Sheil.
How would you describe your preparations ahead of tomorrow?
Super.
What do you mean by super?
We are prepared. Everything has been put in place for us to have a seamless primary tomorrow.
When you say everything, can you describe to us, because there are concerns which I'd like to raise with you tonight as to how ready the party is, although there are those who believe that the burden of conducting this is on the NWC, but are those who are accusing you directly. Some of these issues I will raise with you tonight. So when you say you're fully ready, everything, what do you mean by everything, Chairman?
Okay. When I say everything is ready for the primaries tomorrow, the National Working Committee has a panel sent in from Abuja to come and conduct the primary election. We've secured the Ogbemudia Stadium to have the primary. We've secured the Edo Hotel to have the accreditation. That is what I mean when I say we are ready. The delegates are on their way to Benin as we speak. That is what I mean when I say we are ready. The security agencies are on ground to make sure that the peace in the state is not hampered with. That is what I mean when I say we are ready.
Oh, good. So you're conducting an indirect primary. You're using the indirect primary mode tomorrow.
We are using 594 delegates for tomorrow's primary. As you are aware, the delegates were elected earlier on the 4th of February and on the 10th of February.
In a disputed Congress.
Those are your words, but that's not the words of majority of
those are the words of
your
members of your party. The deputy governor is unhappy with it. The likes of the former chairman of the APC who wanted to run and unhappy, 9 of the aspirants say that those the Congress was skewed.
Okay. As a party, we have the guidelines for the conduct of congresses. There is a provision for appeals after the Congress. These aspirants, I'm aware, went to the appeal panel after the Congress. That appeal panel was headed by His Excellency Siriaki Dixon. The appeal panel wrote a report, which is sent to the National Working Committee, upholding the results of the Congress held on the 4th of February. There was an appeal panel after the national delegate election. The national delegate, one per local government Congress. There was an appeal panel after that Congress. That appeal panel also upheld the results, both of the headed by His Excellency Gabriel Suswan. All these panels upheld the results of the elections, of the Congresses. So in my opinion, once the appeal panel upholds those results, those panels reports were sent to the NWC. The NWC sat and ratified the delegate list for Edo State. That is what I mean that we are ready. So if an aspirant feels that all these appeal panels, all the panels that came into Benin are not satisfied with it, well, I get it, but the law will have to take its course as they say.
Are you able to reconcile leaders of the party who are aggrieved after the Congress going into these primaries?
Chair, we will never be tired of talking to our members. These are all dedicated, committed members of the party. I can tell you that before free because I know. Is it the deputy governor? Is it Anselm? Is it Felix? All of them. They're all my friends. After the primary tomorrow, the process of reconciliation is not ending. We will continue to preach peace, to preach reconciliation amongst all of us. Because we need to be together for us to win the 21st of September elections. So on my part, on the part of the governor, we will continue to talk to these our colleagues, to our friends, to our brothers and sisters, so that once a candidate emerges tomorrow, all of us will rally around him and make sure that we deliver him on the 21st of September.
That seems to be the problem, Mr. Azegbemi, because the allegation is that you are working for Governor Obaseki to skew, the allegations are said, to skew the primaries of tomorrow. They said that you guys are working from answer to a question. How are you able to convince them otherwise?
It's difficult to change somebody's mind, more so the mind of an adult. But what I can tell you is that the congresses were conducted in line with the party guidelines. If any aspirant can come up and show me and give me an evidence, concrete evidence, that, Chairman, you did A, B, C, D, And clearly, that will favor one of the aspirants. If I have that concrete evidence, then we can have a conversation. But what I'm telling you is that with all these appeals sitting and upholding the results of those congresses, in my opinion, and just to say this too, those congresses were the best organized in this country. No other party has been able to do what we did. No.
So how many people are going into this race tomorrow?
We have 10 aspirants. 10 of them are going into this race tomorrow.
Including the man you said to be working for.
Sheung, why are you putting words into my mouth? Who am I working for? I'm working for the party.
Is your friends in your party that are saying you're working for a candidate?
I'm telling you that I'm working for the party.
I mean, going from here tomorrow, there must be a winner in that race out of the over 500 delegates that will march to the stadium tomorrow to vote for your party flag bearer. Whichever way this goes tomorrow, how do you hope as a leader of the party in the state to be able to unite the party? Because it does look like the censor is no longer holding in Edo State PDP.
As we speak, meetings are ongoing. People are talking to some of these aspirants. And hopefully everybody will be on board for this, after this primary, before this primary, during this primary, and after this primary. And it's my job to continue on that path.
How involved is Governor Godwin Obaseki in this process, in this reconciliation process?
He has to be involved. He's talking to some of the aspirants. I'm aware of that.
Is he talking to his deputy?
I don't have the details of that, but I do know he has spoken to some of the aspirants.
But let's look at it. There's been 8 years of Governor Godwin Obaseki in the saddle. And there are those who are criticizing, especially in the opposition in Edo State, who said, look, the state is in a mess governance-wise. I mean, as the leader of the party, as the chairman of the PDP in Edo State, how do you talk to the people for them to believe that you have what it takes to fix what is going on in Edo State? They say that your party had run the state aground.
Sheung, I will reel out some facts for you, and I challenge anybody to contradict them. Number one, Edo State is the only state in this country that pays 40,000 minimum wage. That salary goes into people's account on the 25th, 26th of every month. Pensions and gratuities are paid as at when due. The GDP of Edo State has risen from 11 billion in 2016 to 25 billion in 2023. The private sector investment alone, local investment in Edo, I'm talking about things like the Dofil farms. I'm talking of the Usomo power plant, the first in the state again, and the first in the country. I'm talking of the high level of security in the state. When last did you hear of kidnapping in the state? We're talking of the more than 1,500 kilometers of road done in the state. We're talking of the Edo Best program, which has been adjudged to be the best education policy ever made in this country. I can just go on and on and on, but clearly, Edo State, under the PDP-led administration this past 4 years, we have never. Do
you know what the opposition say about your principal, the governor? They say that he's a governor of memorandum of understanding, MOU. What do you say? If you are saying this, I mean, how do you convince the people in Edo State who believes otherwise?
MOU led to Usomo power plant. Is Osama power plant? Can you feel it? Can you see it? Yes. MOU led to Edo best education policy. And the children, more than 320,000 children, can they feel it? Can they see it? Yes. MOU led to the Dofil farms, where you have the more than 200,000 hectares of land with palm oil, with palm trees. You can imagine what that will turn to in another 3, 4, 5 years. MOU led to it. MOU led to the Gelegele, the Benin seaport, which has made up, we now have a preferred bidder to drive that process. Without an MOU in this century, I imagine that if you don't plan, you cannot get this done.
So it's okay to call the governor an MOU governor. Is that what you're saying?
You are right to say that, because he will do things methodologically. He will do it with plan in hand. That's what an MOU is. You cannot just come into a place and start a project without an MOU. No.
Yeah, let's wrap this up, Mr. Azegbemi. How difficult do you think it will take to convince the people of Edo State to vote PDP in the coming election this year?
I imagine it's going to be so easy, because we have so many things to point to that this governor has done for the state. And we challenge anybody in any political party to show us what they have done for the state. It's one thing to say the governor has not done anything, he's an MOU governor, but I just told you a few things that he has done. And there are many of them. So for us, we are waiting for the campaigns. The campaigns will start on the 24th of April.
All right.
We'll go to town. We'll knock on people's doors. We'll make sure we get our message across. And by the grace of God, Edo people will buy into our message and vote PDP on the 21st of September.
All right, because sometimes there are a lot of rumors in politics. But since that you're talking to us tonight, because they say that you're working for Asue Godalo, is that right? Is that true?
Shehu, I'm working for the party. I want the 594 delegates to choose the best for the party.
You think Asue is the best? Is that what you're saying?
I am not saying Asue is the best. I'm saying the delegates will choose the best.
You don't think Asue is the best for your party?
All of them are good. All the 10 aspirants are good.
Including the deputy governor?
All the 10 of them are good. Any one of them that the delegates choose tomorrow will win any other person that comes on board from any other party.
All right. Anthony Azegbemi is the chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Edo State. I wish you and your friends and your party the very best tomorrow. Thank you so much indeed for your time.
Thank you, Shehu.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're going to break, and when we come back, everyone, we'll be speaking with Senator Ali Indume. He's a federal lawmaker from Borno South Senatorial District of Nigeria, and he will be speaking to us about the concept of food stamp. He's directly advocating that the president should look at giving food vouchers to Nigerians, especially those who are earning little or less. We'll be hearing how that can be possible within these food shortage crisis in Nigeria. Stay with us. We'll be right back, everyone. Let's now focus our attention on some national issues. So, the former head of state, Yakubu Gowon, visited President Bola Tinubu at a presidential villa today. They had conversation, some of which builds on state of the nation. And this is some of what the former head of state had to say, especially on some of the crises the nation is facing right now.
The government is trying their best to deal with the various problems of the country, but with Nigerians, don't you worry, you can get criticized. I think people out there, they know better than what you know there. But I think all that one can say is that we've got to Nigerians have to give the president time to get things really done.
There's no doubt that a lot of things have gone wrong, especially when federal lawmakers yesterday were pointing an accusing finger about how the nation was run. When the issue of ways and means came up, the issue of food shortage, the state of economy came up, but then there are those who are suggesting the way forward. Let's talk about a few of those ideas tonight. A senator who is co-sponsoring a motion for the federal government to institute food stamps. Well, food stamps, you may wonder, what is food stamp anyways? They are vouchers that are being given and is being used in some countries around the globe where you get a food stamp or a voucher and in exchange for food. It's usually for low-income earners and people who are in the bottom pyramid of the society. Senator Aline Dume, a federal lawmaker, joins me live here in our studio tonight to speak on some of these issues. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Things look very difficult for Nigerians at the moment, Senator.
Yeah.
And it's so sad that our people are facing this kind of crisis.
Yeah. But if you look at it also, it's all over the world mostly. The issue, the economic hardship is global for so many reasons, especially when it comes to issue of food. The war between Ukraine and Russia, and also the crisis in the Middle East, all is affecting our own economy. The world is global. That is part of it. And also you can see in Nigeria too, we have this difficulty. But I want to say here that the problem is not that of the president alone. The president is the head of the government. People should come forward to suggest the way forward or out of this problem, not just concentrating on critics.
And there are those who disagree with you, Senator, when you say that it's not a Nigerian problem, it's a global problem. There are those who will say, who will blame this government that things have become so bad. Would you say it's a global problem, the FX, the dollar to the naira? Do you know what dollar has sold to the naira today at the parallel market? There are those who will say that some of the policies that are being criticized by this government, policies of this government have been criticized, that there are wrong policies that have been made that have led us to this. In 8 months, nearly everything in terms of indices have gone in the negative and double numbers.
Well, let me take it one after the other. First of all, when this government came on board, before then, the major issue is the amount of money the government was spending on what the so-called fuel subsidy. And even the opponents, or that is to say opposition, were of the view, including maybe yourself, that the fuel subsidy should go. But of course, it comes with consequences. I can accept the fact that the backlash of that decision was not well thought out and the reaction. But the good thing I can say here without fear of any contradiction is that the president is reactive. When things happen like that, immediately he sent supplementary budget to the National Assembly, which 500 billion was allocated for palliatives. But as we said, it's just like a drop in the sea. After that, he tried to reorganize the social investment program and also pumped money into it. But then it's not still working. After that, the president recently came out to order for the release of, I think, 102,000 metric tons from the strategic grain reserve. All this is with the view to addressing the issue of food shortage. And that's why I came out with this motion that is coming up tomorrow, that in addition to what the government is doing, should quickly look at the introduction of food stamp as an interventionist measure to cushion the effect where people are giving food.
Senator, we'll go to that just in a bit. And I'd like to take you up on what you also said about the president being reactive. There are those who will say, look, this economy is too sensitive for you to be reactive. You have to be proactive. There are those who have likened the decision of this government as to removing your clothes in anticipation of buying a new clothes when the clothes is not even in sight. The decision and policies of this government were said to be knee-jerk. Yes, good intentions, but not properly thought out and planned. And you are part of this government. And this has been described as a failure.
No, I don't think so, because we did what the people wanted.
But not what
and we are
properly
looking
thought
at,
out.
wait now, we are looking for remove the oil subsidy, remove the oil subsidy. The president reacted by removing the oil subsidy. Of course, it will come with consequences. What I want to hear now is that if you implement or you react in such a way and it's not working, you bring forward suggestion as to what you think will work, and then if it is workable, the government will definitely implement that, and so that we'll get out of it. But definitely, that taking that decision to remove oil subsidy was welcomed by all Nigerians. And of course, it comes with consequences. Then if you say that we have not managed the consequence very well, that is another thing.
So the question is, take for example, let me describe to you, Senator, the implication of what your government is doing, the APC. And perhaps there are those who are probably disappointed, who thought that the APC government under President Tinubu had everything, had all the data, had everything thought out, and things are really escalating badly. People are hungry, Senator. In your constituency, I don't know how much of the disturbance you are getting about those who cannot afford school fees, those who cannot pay their bills, those who cannot feed. This is what the implication could be directly. You know the budget you passed in 2024 is now worthless, you know, right?
No, you can't say.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you, Senator, the indices on those budgets are now being messed up.
Mm-hmm.
The production, the FX, everything, because now let's assume that the dollar was about 1,000 naira when you passed the budget. It is now almost double today. If you plan to buy that iPad in front of you in that budget, in January, you'll be buying with a double amount. That means that whatever we have budgeted in this budget for 2024, we need double of the amount to be able to execute the budget. That is one of the implications. No. Aside the fact that people are hungry, Senator.
No, I don't think so. I don't agree with you. You are right to some extent, but don't also forget that this budget is a dollarized budget, so to say, especially in terms of the income. And when it comes to in terms of expenditure, it's in naira. So if we are getting our money in dollars and the value of dollar is up, that means that we'll have more naira in terms of what we spend. So we are not spending dollars, we are spending naira, but we are getting our revenue.
What's the quantum of the dollar we're expecting, Senator?
I don't know, but our oil production has gone up. We are almost all dependent. It went up to slightly above 1 million to 1.7.
The question is the percentage of revenue from oil.
Let's discuss this idea, this issue that you raised. True, the value of naira against dollar has fallen to, I think, 1,700. But we are selling our major product that we generate income in dollars. And that means any dollar we get now will also be valued at 1.8 or thereabout. So in fact, if you do it, the analysis critically, it may mean if you balance it up, we may have more money to fund our budget. The problem that we have actually is in the foreign exchange rate, which is true. And unfortunately, you are right, that Nigeria is dependent on foreign exchange for almost all the luxury items. But our production of food, the greater percentage of it is produced locally. The major problem now is that the price of products, of food or basics that I'm concerned about has escalated, making it very difficult for low-income people to be able to buy. But it's not that there is scarcity of food. No, the price has gone up, whether artificial, whatever, that is no excuse. And that is why I'm saying that there should be a way where you make the purchasing power of the low-income people especially enhanced so that they can buy. Now you are paying somebody, for example, a salary that cannot buy him a bag of rice. Then, and he needs that bag of rice to survive in a month. And his income cannot do that. The government should now look at, and that is what we are looking at, and the president is so disposed to it, to see how the poor person or the less privileged can afford to.
Senator, are you saying that we actually have food enough?
Yes. If we don't have food enough, you can see the number of trailers that our security agencies intercepted in our border. The problem that we have, as I said, is this foreign exchange. Now our people are trying to get our products across the border, especially the Francophone countries, where they are safer against our Naira, has gone up.
Because some of your colleagues on the floor of the Senate are saying that our silos are empty.
Well, I don't know about
our
that.
Our storage are empty. The president has ordered over 100,000 metric tons of food items.
Yes.
But that those who say in real terms, those food are not there. The silos are empty.
I really don't. I don't speak speculatively.
No, I'm saying what your colleagues are saying.
No,
I'm putting back to you what your colleagues said on the floor.
I'm not the colleague that said that. As far as I'm concerned, the president ordered that 102 tons of metric tons of food should be released from the strategic grain reserve. Let me even assume that what you are saying is true, which I don't believe. But in Nigeria today, if you have the money, tomorrow you can get across the country. Tomorrow, or even tonight, you can get over 102 metric tons if you have the money to pay for it. And that's what the government is saying, that they want to get out 102 metric tons of food so that it will make the price of food go down, or at least the lower income Nigerians will be able to have food on their table.
Let's talk about this food stamp that you're suggesting.
Better.
It's new to us.
No, it's not new to you.
No.
You have lived in America, didn't you?
Yes.
You don't know about food stamp?
No, I'm saying new to our system here in Nigeria.
I'm asking you now. You don't know.
Has it operated here in Nigeria, Senator?
But do you know about
I
food
know
stamp?
about food
Then
stamp.
why are you saying you don't know?
It's new to us. It's new to our system.
To you?
It's new because you don't operate. If you don't operate,
anyway,
that I know, it doesn't mean that it's commonplace.
Anyway, if you don't know food stamp is a kind of program that was introduced in the United States in 1939, when they had similar challenges. Crisis. So food stamp is a coupon that is issued to low income or no income citizens of America.
In exchange for food.
In exchange for food. And it has been working. Recently, they changed it to the name to SNAP. They call it Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. And it's working very effectively. So if a country like America can use food stamp, then I don't see any reason why Nigeria at this critical time should not do that. Because if the government decides now, within 1 or 2 months, with a minimal, because the president tried this social investment program by this cash transfer and all that, but the high level of corruption tainted it. So it's better now to give somebody food stamp, especially low income or no income, that they can go to retailers or those that sell food stamp, and instead of using money, they use that food stamp, and the government redeems that amount by you taking the coupon to the bank, and your account will be credited. That is the sellers.
What is the modality? Because I look at you are saying that when the federal government makes an order, is an interventionist concept to cushion the effect of this, and in that motion, you're also describing how the Ministry of Agri and all of that.
Agri and food security.
So how do you determine, because data is a problem, how do you determine who gets what?
Data will not be a problem that much because we have a structure. We have the federal government, we have the state government, we have the local government. And fortunately, this issue of agriculture or food security is on the concurrent list. That means everybody will be involved. If you open your doors in various states, the Ministry of Agri, asking people to come and register, they can come with their ID card, they can come with any form of identification, and they can come with clarification from even their ward level. That is to say, in our structure, in every ward, for example, you have a ward councillor, or you have the local government, you have the local government chairman asking people to come and register. And the beauty of that kind of idea is that with our own culture, you find out that it is only people that are in need that will come out to register their name, and they can be verified. And then they give them...
How often would people be able to access
on monthly basis? If you know, that detailed modalities can be done by experts. There are experts, and in fact, coincidentally, in Nigeria, they tried this in Lagos. There's this Lagos food initiative, and they call it temporary food or something. They did it, and that was a private initiative, and it went a long way because it touched the life of about more than 1 million people in Lagos. I think in 2020, they were registered in 2015.
There are a lot of private initiatives that have opened banks.
And that even reminds me, the World Food Program is very active in Nigeria. They do that. In my own local government, especially in Borno State and the Bay State we call Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe, where we are affected by this Boko Haram. The World Bank, the World Food Program help. And also, in my state, the state governor introduced an initiative where from time to time, after the buying food, we go to local government, check the local government, we take one local government from this zone, one local government from this zone, and they take the food and issue token to women or head of families, and then provide them food that can take them.
So the fear would be how politicians will not politicize and take advantage of these for their own personal interests, just so they are supporters. So you find some party supporters who are getting it and the others are looking on. How do we ensure that this does not happen?
Well, that is, Sheun, let me be honest with you. This is one of the major problems in this country. I ask you, before we go on, is this idea of food stamp good or not? Just give me that answer.
I may not be able to judge. I've seen it work.
No.
Where people who cannot afford. I've seen it work.
You have seen it work.
I've seen it work.
So it's a good idea.
I think so.
Okay, what are the modalities you're asking me again? Because I just said this idea of food stamp is something that the federal government should look at seriously and come up with a way. Because for me, I prefer the use of food stamp than this conditional cash transfer they're making. Because you give somebody money, instead of him to go and buy food, he will go and buy certain things. But the good thing about food program is there are specified food items that you can use that coupon for. That means the money or the coupon will go for your basics. Gari, rice, yam, or something like that. But if you give somebody cash, you will not be there to supervise what he does with the cash. So that food stamp is a way to go. And the way or the modalities is something that you have experts, especially non-governmental agencies are there to advise government how to go about it. And I think that is the best way to go.
Now, that means that, you are proposing this, you're moving this motion. Hopefully your colleagues will pass it.
Yeah, from what I've seen yesterday and today, we would have taken it today. But because of time, and we had some other things, so it's coming up tomorrow. I have the support of most of the people. And the beauty of it is my idea. It's not, I have my say now. And then it's left for, my colleagues to either support or not to support it.
Would you need the concurrence from the House?
No. It's a motion.
It's a motion. So when it's passed,
yes.
It's passed as a form of advisory to the federal government.
Yes.
So it's now left to the federal government
whether to take that advice
or not.
Or whether to come up with a better way of addressing it, because I believe that the president is so concerned about this. No, everybody must be concerned about the situation where you have pockets of people going the street, demonstrating, where my main concern, I saw 2 incidents. Maybe you saw it, it went viral. A truck carrying rice had an accident. In those days, people will now be busy trying to help the driver or to retrieve the goods. But what happened is that people were, scrambling and taking away the food instead of it. And another incident happened when a petrol tanker, I think somewhere again, had accident. And people were dying right there because it was accident between 2 vehicles. But people are concentrating on scooping the petroleum product than attending to those people that are in need.
I mean, my major, which I hinted about it, but I don't know if you have thought about it, but if not, Senator, I think it's something that we really need to look into. We don't have the much data to be able to drive this kind of
That is the problem. I don't agree.
Remember the mess, just for a moment, remember the mess created by the humanitarian ministry. And what metrics would you use to give out these food stamps in your thinking?
My thinking is that in every state, government should deploy its staff to announce that food stamps will be issued to qualified or people in need. When you come before the official, you state your name, your local government, you prove that you are a household. That is how you build the data. And at the beginning, as people come, they queue up, and then you build the data right on it. But you see, the repeat is that we don't have the data. Let's assume that we even have the data, but it's not authentic. If you are giving out food stamp here in this studio, you announce in your TV that tomorrow we are issuing food stamp. People will come and queue up, or you take a number, and then you register. That you build over time. It's not something that will happen to all Nigerians.
Because the question is, people need urgent and immediate needs. So getting the data, getting those registration might be, but
when you announce that total amount of
food items are available.
Not food item, food
stamp. Yeah.
Food stamp is available. And people that are in need can come to social office, register and collect the food stamp. Then you go to the market and use it to get food. When people queue up for that is how you build the data. But when you make the mistake, as we did previously, to say, oh, a consultant will go and build the data, that is how they steal the money.
I saw the manner in which some of you and your colleagues were going back and forth on some of the errors in relation to ways and means, anchor borrowers program. It's disastrous, isn't it? Yeah. How Nigerians now think that leaders have led this country wrong. For many, they led this country astray for so many years. This is sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
You feel bad about it, that you are part of that system. Because you were on the floor of the Senate when these ways and means issue came up, when the anchor borrows program, all of these issues.
I don't want to go into that. What you asked me to come and discuss about is food stamp. But if not, these ways and means, let me just give you a bit of it. When it came up, I was shocked. And there were no details. But it came with another 817 billion, I think, request, which had details. So that day, we insisted that they must provide detail, which was never provided. But to my surprise, it was passed. But the decision was that of the Senate, and I'm a senator. So I can't come here and say, I disown you. No, I'm part of it.
We need to hold you by the Barbariga because you are part of the process.
You can do that. But God knows, I said it yesterday, when the issue came up, I said I was not there. But that is not an excuse. The Senate took a decision. I can only have my say. But the Senate had its way.
Senator, we need to close now. Okay. We don't have a choice. We are stuck with your party who is in power, that is in power. And we are praying that the president...
we are stuck.
No, we are stuck because
let me tell you,
we are in this mess today, Senator.
Let me tell you.
Your party preached that you're going to make this country better. And we are praying that this nation will get better, that President Tinubu will succeed. We don't have a choice. Good. We must succeed. But the question is it disappointing, isn't it? That things have turned this way.
No. Just within 8 months, PDP spent 16 years and he planted all these...
And so you want to also spend 16 years to destroy?
No, not destroy. We are trying to fix what they did. But let me say, on a serious note, you can see in Mr. President that he is highly committed. At this his age, he did not take this government in order to come and put people into difficulties. It's very frustrating, I can see on his face. You understand? But what the Nigerians need to do is to assist the president, not by just criticizing like the opposition did. Let us come out, like now, I am in APC. I'm not running away from taking the responsibility. We come with ideas. Mr. President, try food stamp. Somebody said this. And there are development. These challenges, as I said, is not only in Nigeria. But how to manage the problem and get out of it is the thing.
Senator Ali Ndume, thank you so much indeed. And thanks for your frankness. When you have failed, you take it that you have failed.
Who failed?
As a party, you.
No.
And as a leader in government.
We have not failed. When you give me power for just how many years?
You spent 8 years as a PC?
No, that was the past one now. Now, President Tinubu, it's only 8 months.
Only?
Yeah.
People could have died. A lot of people could have died. A lot of things would have gone wrong. But that's another conversation for another day.
8 months.
We need to
8 months. I want to remind you.
20% of 4 years.
PDP spent 16 years and they destroyed this country.
What about the 8 years of the APC under Buhari?
They are struggling to understand the problem.
Us how many years backwards?
No, not.
Senator, we need to go. Thank you so much indeed for your time. I appreciate it, Senator Ali Ndume.
Thank you.
That's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.